Okay. So I want to know about yourself first, and then we'll start the technical question. Okay. So tell me about yourself.
I am Begur Abhinav from Hyderabad. Completed my graduation engineering mechanical. I have developed interest in network engineering in my final year of my final year of my BTech.
Okay.
I have developed skills in OSI Layer, TCP, UDP, STP, VTP, DTP, also CCNP switching up to layer 2 security. And when it's come to routing, I have completed OSPF, EIGRP, and basic understanding of BGP.
Okay.
And next is VPN, IPsec.
Okay. So right now you are learning for CCIE security course, right?
Yes, sir.
So what kind of module you finish?
I have finished a firewall module of Checkpoint in Palo Alto.
Okay.
And I finished ESA, email security appliances, and web security appliances, and VPN.
Okay. So let's start with the simple question, and step by step we'll increase the level with the advanced and real and everything. Like, okay.
Sure, sir.
So first of all, just can you explain me about the OSI layer? Not in the simple, but with some scenario-based example, where we can use each OSI layer, where we can use in the networking scenario. I want that kind of some example.
Okay. Sure, sir. So first I will start with definition. OSI model is also called as reference model.
Okay.
It is developed by ISO, International Standard of Organization, in 1974, I think so.
Okay.
Why it has been developed? To understand the network layer, on how on which layer which protocol works, and how does data travel from application layer 7 to layer 1.
Okay.
So basically in OSI we have 7 layers. Layer 7 is application layer.
Okay.
Layer 6 is presentation layer. Layer 5 is session layer. Layer 4 is a transport layer or transmission layer. Layer 3 is a network layer. Okay. Layer 2 is a data link. Layer 1 is a physical layer.
Okay.
So application layer deals with the user interface.
Okay.
Suppose example, we are using WhatsApp, which is use HTTPS web services. So while typing hi, we have texted hi message, where we are directly using the interface.
Okay.
That is a use of application layer.
Okay.
That when it's come to presentation layer, the presentation layer encrypt and decrypt the hi message which has been user have initiated in application layer.
Okay.
So encrypt and decrypt. And when it's come to session layer, session will maintain one session ID.
Okay.
So it can tell to the TCP.
Okay.
So as we are using HTTPS, so it uses TCP port number 443.
Okay.
So when it's come to TCP request, so our CPU will create one TCB. Nothing but a memory allocation by the CPU, where it contains socket information, source port, destination port, source IP, destination IP.
Okay.
Source port is a random port, destination port is a 443.
Okay.
So now TCP will establish a connection. So it uses TCP three-way handshake. First, it will send synchronized message. Client will send synchronized message to the server. Okay. The synchronized packet consists of synchronous flag set up to 1, random number, which is also known as sequence number, and all the negotiation process like window size, windowing, etc.
Okay.
Then when it's come to server side, server will acknowledge the synchronized message sent by the client, and it will send its own synchronized flag.
Okay.
In acknowledgement packet, it will send acknowledged flag set up to 1, and in the synchronized flag, it will set up to 1. Then client will acknowledge the snag packet which is sent by the server. Now TCP connection has been established.
Okay.
Now they are ready to transfer the data.
Okay.
So when it's come to the pure hi message which I sent in application layer, it will be converted into segments. Each segment contains a byte, and each byte will identify by the random number or sequence number.
Okay.
So what the sequence number will do? Sequence number will help to identify the client. Client.
Okay.
From where my actual data is, from where actual position of the data.
Okay.
Acknowledgement number will say acknowledgement number will say that I have received. Suppose there are 20 bytes of data which has been sent by the server.
Okay.
Acknowledgement number will say that I have received your 20 bytes of data. Now I am expecting from the 21 you send me that it will send +1,
Okay.
which is also called as phantom byte.
Okay.
Like the connection establishment will happen, then it will pass to network layer. Where in network layer, as we are using IPv4, header will be added. When it's come to data, it will add TCP, add its header, and it will forward to the network layer.
Okay.
Network layer will add its own header. What does network layer contains? It will tell how to route the packet, how to forward the packet up to the destination. It contains source IP, destination IP. If you are using any service types of service, quality of service has been done.
Okay.
Then it will be forwarded to the switch. The packet, it will encapsulate and it will send a packet to the switch. Now switch will see the source MAC, destination MAC, how to which client for which client I have to forward the frame. Now it will send to the direct client,
Okay.
which is connected directly to a physical layer of wire, or we can use wireless also.
Okay.
So in physical layer, we will receive the data. Now it will start decapsulating it. Sender to receiver encapsulating process. When receiver to opening them, it will decapsulate each and every header. At last, we will get that hi message in the.
Okay. Good. So now in this, you mentioned something called like window size, right?
Yes, sir.
And you also mentioned some sequence number. Can you explain it? What is the purpose of that? What is the window size purpose or sequence number purpose?
Sure, sir.
Yeah.
So window size is negotiated during three-way handshake only.
Okay.
What does window size will tell that? The amount of segment which it can receive from the server without sending any acknowledgement
Okay.
is known as window size. It is variable. It is dynamically we can adjust during three-way handshake. After sending the during transmission of data.
Okay.
If congestion window which is set by sender, if there is any congestion, it's a variable. If there is any congestion, it will advertise. It will the sender will send. I am sending this much of window size without accepting any acknowledgement from you.
Okay.
Receiver window cell, it will advertise its window size, how much amount of data it can receive,
Okay.
so that there should not be any packet loss.
Okay.
When it's come to sequence number, sequence number will as TCP contains segments, and in each segment we will having bytes of data. Suppose 1 byte, 2 byte, like. So sequence number will identify the each byte of the data. So it will help. It will send each amount of data. So the acknowledgement number will confirm that I have received this much amount of data.
Okay. Now this window size you told like it's a variable, right? So it's depend like in the physical hardware interface or it's depend on the software or OS?
Can you explain, elaborate it, sir?
Window size you told like it's a variable. When we want to send the data, so window size is variable. So is there any dependency like according to iOS, OS or Windows OS, according that size is different, or according to interface what we are using like Ethernet fast, according that it is different or it is properly random?
No, it deals with only TCP layer.
Okay.
It is I believe, I think it's software.
Okay, no worry. Now come to the TCP only. Can you explain the session termination process?
Sure. So basically, TCP uses four-way handshake to terminate the process.
Okay.
Whenever server has been completed the transmission of data, it will send finish flag.
Okay.
Now it will now client will receive that finish flag. It will see that and it will acknowledge the finish flag. Hey, you can cut it finish from your side. Then once server close the connection, now client also completed the data transmission, data receiving. Then client will also send its own finish flag.
Okay.
I am also ready to terminate the session. Now server will send again acknowledgement back. It will say that okay, now we can terminate the session.
Okay. Good. Now let's say I want to know according to VLAN.
Okay.
Like if we are using VLAN in our network, so what kind of improvement we'll get in terms of networking or load or security? Can you explain that for
Sure,
the
sir.
VLAN?
So basically VLAN is a logical segmentation of the broadcast domain of a switch,
Okay.
which leads to increase of the broadcast domain and decrease size of the broadcast domain.
Okay.
When it's come to traffic, we can reduce the unnecessary traffic, as switching is a broadcasting device. So unnecessary transferring the amount of traffic which is not required to that particular user, that we can segregate it. When it's come to security feature, yes, we can say that suppose we have different departments.
Okay.
So to limited the conversation between them, so we can put both of them in different VLAN, so that broadcast domain will be separated, so the both can't be communicated.
Okay. So in this answer, somewhere you actually use the cross answer, like it is increasing the domain or it is decreasing the domain.
It is
broadcast.
It is increasing the broadcast domain, decrease the size of the broadcast domain.
Decrease the size
of the broadcast domain.
Good. Now it is good. Okay. Now can you explain about the VTP?
Yes, sir. VTP stands for VLAN Trunking Protocol.
Okay.
So it is Cisco proprietary protocol, which can be used only in Cisco switches.
Okay.
So basically, VTP is like centralized management of the VLAN database, where we can create, maintain, delete.
Okay.
So VTP have three modes. One is server mode, one is transparent mode, one is client mode.
Okay.
So basically, what switch will think is all the switch will think before connecting a VTP, all are in server mode.
Okay.
So when we want to implement the VTP, so there is criteria.
Okay.
VTP domain name should be matched. VTP version should be matched. Then next thing is trunk link should be there.
Okay.
Between them.
So let's say you told about the mode, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me the 3 mode name?
Server mode, transparent mode, client.
Okay.
Server. Shall I explain more about this?
No, it's okay. In that, what I want to know, let's say if there are some changes in the client side, can server get the update?
Yes, sir.
Yes. In VTP client mode able to change anything?
No, client mode is able to change anything.
Then?
Because server is have the full authority to change.
Okay.
Just client will have the replica of that database.
Okay. So if I ask according to server, then you can say yes, right? Client not changing anything.
Okay.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay. Yeah, no worry. Now let's say second thing. Suppose let's say we have one side, one switch in the client mode, one side, one switch in the server mode. Both are not directly connected. In middle, there is a transparent switch. Okay. Server, transparent and client. Okay. Now we are changing anything in the server. So that will automatically receive by the client?
Yes.
Or transfer will block that?
No, transparent mode will always forward the database, which is whatever notification which is received from server. It will act as a medium.
Okay.
It will just transfer whatever changes coming from server mode to client mode, but it won't store the changes in its own database. It have its completely independent database.
Okay. Let's understand. I want also security.
Okay.
So in the server side, I configure the VTP password. Okay. And in client also, because I want to apply the config on the client. So in client side also, I configure the password. But in middle, transparent switch don't know the VTP password. Can data travel?
Yes, travel.
Then where is the security?
Sorry.
The middle switch also part of VTP.
Then it should also have that authentication password, sir.
That I want to know. According to you, what? Do we require password for transparent also? Or
Yes,
transparent without password data can travel?
No, password also required.
Okay. Let's make it simple.
Okay.
Let's say I want to receive some data. Okay, not VTP, normal thing. If I want to receive some data and that data is secure with the password. Let's assume PDF. PDF secure with the password. So I receive the PDF.
Yes.
And now I just want to forward that PDF to someone else. Do I need to know the password?
No, we don't need the password.
Same thing transparent doing?
Yes. But I'm a little bit confused.
Okay, no worries. So why I'm asking this? Because as a real scenario, there are VTP running with the different version also.
Yes.
So you have the idea about VTP version?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me that.
So VTP version 1.
Hmm?
In the VTP version 1, they do not support extended VLANs.
Okay.
And there is no support of private VLAN also. And there is compatibility issue in VTP version 1. If suppose
Okay.
switch A is consisting of VTP version 1, switch 2 of VTP version 2, then both cannot be communicated unless and until this switch to set to VTP version 1 mode. So that we are having problem in VTP version 1. When it's come to VTP version 2, but still it does not support the extended VLAN. And when it's come to this one compatibility show, it is okay with the compatibility,
Okay.
and it supports the private VLAN.
Okay.
When it's come to VTP version 3, it supports extended VLANs.
Okay.
And one more thing, it doesn't mean that it acts like server. There is one switch of admin privilege access where it can centralize the means what we can, that switch only can create, delete, update VLAN database.
Okay. So now in this version, just you need to research a little bit more because what I explained question, if it is a version 2, middle switch, not require password, directly travel.
Okay.
Okay. So what I give the PDF example, that way it is correct.
Okay.
But in some other technical word, let's say some switch don't know the password and they become transparent. That means they also can receive the data.
Okay.
So there is a security issue. So in version 3, the transparent switch also require password.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Let's come to the next point. Let's say if I want to prevent the layer 2 loop. So we have the STP, right? What my question is, what is the reason that layer 2 have a loop? Why there is a loop in the layer 2?
So when it's come to layer 2, we have switches there.
Okay.
Switch is by default a broadcast domain, single broadcast domain and per port collision domain.
Okay.
So whenever whichever data is passing through the switch, it will broadcast to each and every domain.
Okay.
If we take one kind of scenario, 3 switches in a triangle one or 2 switches with double link.
Okay.
So each switch will forward its message. This will forward this one. This will forward this one. It will cause broadcast storm.
Okay.
So for this reason, we have STP, built-in STP in switches one.
Okay. Now let's say what you are saying, that way suppose let's say if I connect 3 router triangle like router 1, router 2, router 3 and I'm giving the routing. Default routing. Router 1 any network, go to the router 2. Router 2 I also give the default routing to the router 3. Router 3 also I'm giving default routing to the router 1. Now there is a loop possible?
No, as you are telling routing then it's a layer 3 switch.
Okay.
In layer 3 there is no loop.
Why?
Why? Because layer 3 deals with per port broadcast domain, not single broadcast domain.
No. Broadcast or not, packet able to forward?
Yes, if we are having routing.
That is the question, like why loop created? If packet keep forwarding, then loop created. It's a broadcast or unicast?
It's a
Unicast loop not possible? 1 to 1, 1 to 1, 1 to 1 loop not possible?
Yeah, it's also possible.
So it's not about broadcast, right?
It's not.
So what I'm saying, in that scenario also, if it is a layer 3 loop possible?
Yes, sir.
But we don't have any loop prevention concept
In layer.
according routing.
Because we have split horizon. No? Once it receive.
Static routing I'm talking.
Okay, static
Default routing, static routing. Protocol we have. Again, that is different thing because it is sharing lots of network.
Yes.
You are getting my question, right?
Yes.
So let's say router having default routing, so packet also keep forwarding. And same way you are telling in the switch, okay, one packet broadcast forwarding. So we have loop in the switch, but we don't have loop in the router, right?
In default routing, we can give only to a particular router.
Default route for any network?
Yeah, default router, but we can't give default routing to whole topology. Usually we give static routing, not default routing.
Okay. What I'm saying, loop is because of switch or router. You are thinking that way, or loop is because of layer 2 and layer 3?
Loop is because of layer 2.
Layer 2. What is the problem or what is the difference in the layer 2? Why layer 3 don't have loop but layer 2 have loop?
As I said about to layer 2, it is a broadcasting domain. When it's come to layer 3, I have not added with the default routing. But when it's come to EIGRP or dynamic routing protocol, where there I have learned that it won't share the packet back from which it learnt route. by split horizon concept. But
Okay.
when it's a default routing, I'm not sure.
No, there is a one core concept that is missing. No worry, we can discuss that in the class. Okay. Right now, let's say as an interview, we'll go forward. I want to know the difference between STP and RSTP.
Sure, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So common spanning tree protocol is open standard. Both are of open standard.
Okay.
There is similarity.
Mm-hmm.
This one, common spanning tree protocol is very slow when compared to RSTP is very fast.
Okay.
How we can say we in STP we have states discarding, blocking, blocking, learning, listening, forwarding.
Okay.
And we have maximum age for time, maximum age timer also.
Okay.
And when it's come to RSTP, we have only three types, three modes. One is discarding, which is equal to listening,
Okay.
and blocking, and is learning the MAC address. This is forwarding. So here timers are for listening it will take 15 seconds. For learning it will take 15 seconds, and default maximum timer is 20 seconds. So there is 50 seconds of wait time if there is any change in STP topology. Here it is very faster. And here in CSTP there is only one route bridge for whole VLAN.
Okay.
And when it's come to RSTP, it has per VLAN per route, one route bridge. Different.
Okay. Now you're talking about like faster and slower. So is there any specific ratio or speed you have idea? What is the RSTP speed or what is the common spanning tree speed?
A common spanning tree speed is 50 seconds to identify change or detect any change in STP topology.
Okay.
And when it's come to RSTP, it is just 3 seconds, 3 to 6 seconds.
3 to 6 seconds. Okay. And you are talking about timer. I'm talking about speed.
Speed.
What is the speed in the common spanning tree or what is the speed in the RSTP? You have idea?
No, sir.
No. Okay. No worry. So can you explain about the little bit for MST?
Multiple spanning tree.
Yes.
So I know that multiple spanning tree is for one route bridge for the group of VLAN.
Okay.
And one more thing is there we have domain name concept in multiple spanning tree. Domain name should match and some password. That much only I know.
Okay. No worry. No worry. Yeah. MST, I just want to know idea. Okay. Mostly MST using for service provider side, so no not to worry. Okay. Now let's say I want to know about the STP selection process. How STP select the block port?
Sure, sir. Block. First, it will identify the route bridge.
Okay.
Route bridge is by lowest priority, highest priority plus lowest MAC address.
Okay.
If both are matching, if priority is matching, then it will go with lowest MAC address.
Okay.
And once the route bridge is elected, then we elect the route port.
Okay.
The route port is the we can say the easiest, simplest cost path to reach to the route bridge.
Okay.
Less cost path to the route bridge, and they're always in the non-route bridge switch, always in a forwarding state.
Okay.
When it's come to designated port, it can be present in non-route bridge switch and route bridge switch also, and it is also easiest cost path to reach to the route bridge. When it's when all designated port has been designated port and route port are been elected, then the remaining port will be the alternate port.
Okay. So in that, where is the block port?
Alternate port is also known as block port.
Okay. So block is the status or port role?
Port role.
Port role. Okay. What kind of other port role we have? In the STP, what kind of port role we have?
Designated port, route port, and
Designated
backup port is also there.
route port. Backup port we don't have in STP, it is in RSTP.
Sorry, sir. It is a status, sir. When it's come to there are route port, loop port, like that. Route filter, big video filter, like that we are having.
Yeah.
Role.
You are getting the right.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking this question.
I'm getting.
Okay.
Sorry, sir.
So according to role, what we have?
We are,
Now tell me properly, what is the role? Role.
Role. The role is which switch is acting. It's not like
STP port role. When I'm running the STP, so I have the port may be blocked, may be working, forwarding or whatever status we have, and we have port role also. You have the differentiate idea? Port role and port status.
A little bit confusion is there, sir. I'm not sure.
Okay, what you have the idea? Just tell me. According to you, what is the port status or role? You can mix it. Just tell me what idea you have. I can help you.
Okay, port status is like how is your port is right now? Is it forwarding the traffic
Okay.
or blocking the traffic? This is what I know about port status.
Okay.
When it's come to port role, I believe that I know that it deals with like BPDO guard, BPDO filter. This port will work as a BPDO guard. This port will work as a BPDO filter. Root
BPD guard and filter and everything is other protection mechanism.
root port.
It's not a port role, not a port status.
Okay.
Okay. Let me just help you. Designated port, root port, okay, and alternative. That is a role. Lots of times students confuse here only. Block port and alternative. So block port is a status.
Okay.
Alternative is the port role.
Okay.
Role is alternative means what? Maybe block, maybe start. Alternative. Role is alternative.
Okay. Got it, sir. Got
Okay.
it.
So designated, then root port,
Root port,
or alternative according to STP.
roles.
That all are port role.
Roles.
Okay. But in the designated, it is forwarding or not.
It's
That is
forward.
what? Status.
Okay. Got it.
So now tell me the status if you're able to understand.
Yes, sir. So now status is like forwarding. Forwarding is a status which we
Okay.
will find in root port and designated port.
Okay.
Block is a status of the alternate port.
Okay.
Alternate port is a role. Block is a status.
So that way, how many total status we have in STP?
Status. Two status: forwarding and block.
No. Port directly come into forwarding. If let's some port is blocked, how it's come to the forwarding?
It wasn't topology change. Topology change.
No, process is okay, but in that also state is changing.
First it is coming. First it will come to forwarding. Then it will.
From the blocking, directly it will jump in the forwarding. After blocking, what? Listening, learning.
Sorry. Okay. Listening.
Those are the port status.
Okay.
Okay.
As I said, but.
Okay. So no, that's why only in real scenario interview also trick you.
Okay.
Okay. They will try to ask you question different way for the scenario things.
Okay.
Okay. Now, first of all, briefly explain me about the port security. Then we'll go deeper. Port security. What is that?
Port security is a security feature in a switch when unauthenticated client MAC address has been received at the port, then it will go into shutdown mode if you are using error disable state.
Okay.
And if you are using protect state, then it will not go to it will not go to shutdown mode. It will just prevent the access of it. Restrict mode also same. But what the difference between protect and restrict? In protect, there locks are generated. In restrict, there is no locks are generated.
Okay. Do you know about the DHCP snooping?
Yes, sir.
Tell me.
DHCP snooping is a security feature which helps us to stop rogue DHCP server assigning an IP. How does it will do? DHCP snooping will divide trusted and untrusted ports. Only trusted ports can assign an IP address. It will maintain DHCP binding also.
Okay.
Binding table. And further it will help in dynamic ARP inspection security feature also.
Okay. You told that only trusted port can assign the IP. So when we run the DHCP snooping, how many port we have trust in the switch?
By default, there are no port is as a trusted port. We have to make it.
You need to make it.
Where we have connected with the DHCP server, that port we should make it as a trusted.
Okay. So what port connected to the client side that is not trusted?
We will keep it as untrusted only.
Okay. Then you only told like only trusted port can assign the IP. Then how PC will get the IP?
PC will receive the IP.
PC will receive the IP.
Assigned by the server.
Assigned by the server. So what you mentioned, like only trusted port can assign the IP means?
Then only trusted port where DHCP server is there, then it can only assign the IP address. Even if some IP address is, if rogue DHCP is there, if it is sending any IP address, then it will ignore. Switch will ignore.
Okay. No worry. Here also some point I will guide you later.
Okay.
Something still you are mixing.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Tell me about the dynamic ARP inspection.
Dynamic ARP inspection helps to avoid man in the middle attack. So whenever how the man in the middle attack will, he will change the ARP packet and he will send the ARP request behalf of him to another one.
Okay.
So DHCP Dynamic ARP Inspection uses DHCP binding table. So whenever there is ARP request coming from the untrusted or wrong one, then it will just ignore them.
Okay. So it will help if it is ignoring the request. What kind of help will get in the network security?
If it's as we can stop the man in the middle attack, where we the man in the middle attack, what it will does, it will capture the packet and will see what exactly data is, what exactly root bridge, etc. Whatever the secure L2 level, he will see, and he will add its own MAC address and it will send to receiver one.
Okay. Okay. Before few questions, you only discuss about the BPDU guard and filter, right? So I want to know the difference between BPDU guard and root guard. Can you explain that?
Sure, sir.
BPDU guard and root guard.
BPDU guard is usually assigned at the loop first.
Okay.
Root guard is usually assigned at the designated port of the root bridge. So whenever BPDU message received at the BPDU guard, it will immediately shut down that port. It will make into error disable state.
Okay.
When it's come to root port, when higher superior BPDU message will be reached to the root bridge or any where a root guard is enabled, just it will ignore that message. It will not shut down, just it will ignore.
Okay.
Unless until that message started disappearing.
So we have only shutdown option also, or do we have any other option? If let's say we receive other packet or what you are talking about, superior BPDU, whatever. So according that, the port directly goes into shutdown only, or do we have other option?
No, it in root guard it does not go in shutdown mode. In BPDU it will go in shutdown mode.
Okay.
In root port it will go into root inconsistent state, we will call. Means in simple words, just it will ignore it.
Okay. So tell me for the BPDU guard. BPDU guard, we have only shutdown option, or do we have other option?
I don't know about other options, sir, but I know there is a shutdown option. I've read about shutdown option.
Okay. Now let me clear in your answer only. It is actually going into shutdown or it is going into error disable?
Error disable state.
Error disable. You are mentioning both. Okay. So in the error disable, what happened later? Let's say admin need to compulsory take a action and they need to make the port active, or it will automatically active later?
No, admin have to go and manually configure. Means he should change the state.
Okay. Do you have any other dynamic option or anything that if there is any port for go into error disable, then after some time or after some trigger point or after any specific thing, it will automatically start? Or compulsory admin need to take action?
Compulsory admin need to take action, sir. We don't have any option. As of I
No, there is option available. Okay. That is called error recovery.
Error recovery.
Like error disable, same way we have error recovery. Okay. Now let's say this question, lots of time coming. Okay. Let's say switch are receiving same MAC address from multiple different port. What is the reason?
Same MAC address from?
Yes. What kind of possibility? Is there any misconfiguration, or is there any undoing attack, or what kind of thing? What kind of scenario where this is possible?
So actually, switch port will learn the there's two way to understand this understanding of MAC address. So there's dynamic way and static way. In static way, we manually configure that port to the particular MAC address.
Okay.
That is one possibility. In dynamic way, switch will learn by itself for every 3 minutes, and it will flush out also. Whenever there will be broadcast request, at that time only it will store the MAC address from that source port.
Okay.
So this conflict may be happening due to statically we configured one IP at that port.
IP?
Sorry, MAC address. Sorry.
You can configure static MAC address?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Now one more thing. In your question only, you discuss mention about some split horizon, right? Can you explain that?
Split horizon is used in dynamic routing protocol, where it doesn't share route back again
Okay.
from where it is routing information from where it is receiving.
Okay. So let's say if we stop that features, like if you idea about some multiple connection or DMVPN, where if I want multiple neighbors, if I need to disable that. Okay. So I'm not talking about disable, but it is possible.
Yes.
What I'm saying, suppose let's say split horizon features is not available, then what kind of problem possible?
Then there will be loop will be there.
Loop.
Loop will be there. It will share to the router will share to this one, and again same router will share to same routing will share to this one.
No, but according to dynamic routing, if I have some routes and someone else also sharing to me, I will not receive, right? Why I will receive?
I have no idea, sir.
Okay. There is something topic called route poisoning. Try to read that.
Okay, sir. Sure.
Okay. Now let's come to the security things.
Sure.
Okay. So first of all, main common things I want to know about the VPN.
Sure, sir.
Tell me basic simple thing. What is VPN?
VPN is a logical connection between two sites. It doesn't by default it is not secure.
Okay.
It is help to communicate between two private IP address.
Okay. It's possible only between two private IP address,
Two
or between two network also possible.
two network also possible.
Okay. Now, as you told, like VPN is not secure by default. Then why we are using VPN?
VPN we are using for communicating between two private networks.
To private network communication.
To hide our data, we
Okay.
implement IPsec on it.
Okay. So why we are adding the IPsec?
IPsec.
Why we are adding the IPsec?
It will encrypt our data, and it will make sure that our data is not been altered.
Okay. So for that we have some
Protocol.
famous terminology in the security, right?
Nagle parameters.
Can you explain that?
Sure, sir. So basically, this Nagle parameter will come in the IKE version 1.
Okay.
IKE version and IKE version 2 also. In first message, the initiator will send its Nagle. Nagle means hash value, algorithm, defilement group, encryption.
Okay.
Then it will initiator will send initiator will send the algorithm hash value which is using to the this one responder.
Okay.
Then responder will share accept it, and it will share exception message in message 2, and in message 3 they will share defilement group.
Okay.
Initiator will send defilement group, so that encryption will he will send only public key, not the private key, and responder will send its own public key, not the private key. Now encryption has been done. Now they will share a private identity
Okay.
and pre-shared key. It will send its a private identity and pre-shared key. If it will send it a private identity and pre-shared key. If both are matched, then in first is tunnel control plane. In IKE version we will have modes. Control. So it will happen in main mode. Sorry, I didn't explain properly. First is IKE version having phase 1 and phase 2. IKE version 2 also having phase 1 and phase 2.
Here I just want to stop you. Unnecessary, you are going deeper.
Okay.
What question I asked? What is Haggle?
Okay.
You need to explain that 5 keyword. What is HAGLE, like that? You are going into packet, 5 packet or 6 packet.
Okay.
Then you only telling, okay, I do the mistake. Let me explain the proper and version and everything.
Okay.
So this kind of thing also happening in the interview.
Okay.
That's why we are using this kind of mock interview. Okay. No need to do this way. No need to go in the flow. Normally you need to go in the flow like sequence wise question and answer.
Okay.
Interview ask question, you will give answer. Okay. Then counter question and happening. But it's not like that you miss something, so you remember something else and you are using a random flow.
Okay.
Not that way. I did not ask about the messages.
Okay.
I did not about the IKE version. I don't even mention what is IKE and everything. Okay, you mentioned the Hegel thing, so I told you, okay, explain the Hegel.
Okay.
So can you explain that keyword? What is that full name or whatever? What is the Hegel?
Haggle hash.
Tell me.
H means hash,
Hmm.
A means authentication,
Hmm.
G means defilement group, L I don't know, E is encryption. E stands for encryption.
Okay. Before this only, you only explain the A meaning differently. Okay.
Okay.
That is for algorithm you mentioned.
Okay.
A is not for algorithm. A is for
Authentication.
authentication. Okay. No worry. Can you tell me the different types of VPN?
Policy based VPN,
Hmm.
routing based VPN.
Okay.
In routing based VPN, we use GRE, MGRE, DMVPN in
Okay.
routing based VPN.
Okay.
When it's come to policy based VPN,
Hmm.
we use site to site VPN, where we create ACL policies.
So when you are using GR, it is not site to site VPN.
It is also site to site VPN.
Then.
But there we are using ACL. Here we are using routing.
Okay. Okay. So now last thing. Okay. Another important thing like VPN, we have firewall in any security interview. So first of all, I want to know what is the difference between router and firewall.
Router is used to communicate between two different networks.
Okay.
Firewall is nothing but router plus security. We can say that.
Hmm.
Firewall is which divides our public network to our private network
Hmm.
and the public network, and it will only transfer the data according to a set of rules.
Okay.
That is the major difference between router and firewall.
Okay.
Router is just route the packet.
Hmm.
Even firewall also route the packet if there are any rules are configured. If rules are matching, then it will deny.
Okay. Can you tell me the different types of firewall?
There are 4 types of firewall.
Okay.
Stateless firewall, stateful firewall,
Hmm.
application layer firewall.
Hmm.
4th is next generation firewall.
Okay. What is the application layer firewall?
Application layer firewall, which can filter the packet up to the application level.
Okay. Up to the application layer means how it is better compared to previous version?
When we compare to previous version like stateful, it can only see the data up to L4 level only.
Okay.
Transport layer only. It is unable to see the data of application layer.
Mm-hmm.
For example, suppose bypassing. When we created a policy in our stateful, allow all HTTP services.
Okay.
Port number 443. Then we can use telnet with the port number 443.
Okay.
It can bypass in stateful firewall.
Okay.
When it's come to this application layer firewall, it will see which application is allowed.
Okay.
If only HTTPS 443 port number is there, it will only allow that. We can't bypass it.
Okay. And what is the difference in stateful and stateless firewall?
Stateful firewall will maintain a connection table. Stateless firewall doesn't maintain a connection table.
Okay. And what is the impact in the security because of that? Session maintaining or not maintaining?
Whatever traffic which is going from source to destination,
Okay.
the same thing will come back to as a reply. Request.
Okay.
Suppose ICMP request went from that connection table, then ICMP reply will come from that connection table only. When it's come to stateless, it is not like that. Exactly opposite.
Which is more secure, stateful or stateless?
Stateful.
Why?
Because it maintains each and everything as a connection. If suppose it is created policy to go from this source to this destination, and reply will be come from this source to destination only. We can make when it's come to stateless, it doesn't work like that. It works exactly opposite to it.
Okay, let's say I have the stateful firewall. Okay, I allow the IP from 10.1 to 20.2. So I only creating the rules 10.1 as a source, 20.2 as a destination and allow. So in stateful, according to you, like what we not require return rules. 10.1 going to 20. So 20 replay automatically allow, right? And same way in the stateless, let's say I create both rules. 10.1 to 20.2 allow and 20.2 to 10.1 allow. Then both become same? Or still there is a difference?
We are creating a. I'm a little bit confused.
See, stateless not maintaining the status. That's why whatever traffic going outside, that is not able to come inside. So we are creating return rules also. Then what is the difference? Then both become same?
No, they don't become same. If
Then?
suppose someone is coming from with different same IP address but different device, this device will allow stateful. When it's come to this one, it won't allow stateful.
Stateful also not checking the device. Device and everything comes in the application layer or next generation firewall. They checking the device. Stateful, stateless only checking what? Layer 3, layer 4, IP and everything. Okay. What do you need to understand? In stateless, when we are creating outgoing rules, also incoming rules, in that case, if let's say our traffic not going outside, someone directly come from out to in, that also allow. If we create both set rules, that means what indirectly 20.2 to 10.1 allow.
Yes, sir. Okay.
That means if we not sending our traffic outside, directly new anyone unknown user also coming from 20.2 can allow.
Yes, sir.
Because we created the rules.
Correct, sir.
While in stateful what? Only in to out rules. And if in to out traffic is there,
Then
they only come back.
correct.
Anything from outside directly not come back. That's how still stateful is secure.
Correct.
Getting it?
Correct, sir.
Okay. Now let's say I'm asking scenario based thing. This is your final thing, okay?
Okay, sir.
Based on that, you are getting proper idea what kind of things actually comes in the real interview. Okay. Suppose let's say I have one DHCP server, and from that DHCP server I got the IP. Okay. From that DHCP server, other also getting IP. Means what? I have proper company where multiple LAN network is there. Now other network able to access the internet, but my network not able to access the internet. Then what kind of troubleshooting you will do? What kind of chances possible?
So IP is assigned by same DHCP server to all the
Yes.
as
I have only one DHCP server. In that I have 3 networks. Suppose let's say example 3 network. My network, then second network, then third network. Second and third network able to access internet, but my network not getting internet. Why?
So sir, basically check the physical connectivity first.
Physical, I'm getting the IP from DHCP. That means physical.
Are we able to ping the internet?
No, that I'm telling. I'm getting the IP from DHCP, but I'm not able to reach to the internet.
Then there may be a translation issue.
Translation. Like what kind of translation?
It depends upon your requirement. Static translation or dynamic translation, port translation.
Suppose let's say translation also correct. Then
routing is required. Proper routing is required to that internet.
other network able to reach. That means router have a routing.
Then we don't have that DNS.
Correct.
What do you say? DNS ID, NIC card of that particular inter.
Okay, both point is correct. Okay, that may be translation issue or maybe DNS
issue. Reservation is not happening.
No worries. Now let's say I have one side VLAN 10 number, another side in the second switch I have VLAN 20. Okay, and they both also connected to layer 3 device, router or L3, whatever you can say.
Router, okay.
Whatever, it is your choice. Okay, now I want to do the inter-VLAN routing. So what kind of step you will follow? I'm not asking exact command. I'm just asking process steps. How you do the inter-VLAN routing in that?
So the switch which is connected to our layer 3 of switch A should be, there are many ways. We can router on stick also we can go. That is one thing. And if you're using any L3 switches, then routing we can do.
Okay.
Different interface.
Okay.
So basically, the switch which is connected to the router, it should be on trunk link.
Okay.
And inter-VLAN routing, we will if you are using router on a stick, then we will do this one. divide the logic. We will divide the logical interface.
Okay. Scenario you have clear in your mind?
Clear.
What I told you, 2 switch, one switch have a VLAN 10, one switch have a VLAN 20, and both are connected to router, or you can say L3 switch. Now both switch connected to router using one link or both different link?
Different link.
Both different link. Then where you do the trunking?
Both the links should be have trunking.
Why? Why? VLAN 20 switch router. VLAN 10 switch router. When you require, it is a scenario based question, okay? Just try to trick you. When we require inter-VLAN routing, if we have multiple VLAN in the same switch, or difference is also there, but what? There is only one trunk link. There is only one part where all VLAN want to communicate. If both are different, then there is no any inter-VLAN routing required. Both are directly different L3, different network.
Okay.
Getting it?
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
VLAN 10 switch router, VLAN 20 switch and router. Now for router both network connected. No any inter-VLAN routing.
Correct.
Clear?
Got it.
Okay. Let's say simple question according to firewall, common thing. Okay. Let's say you want to allow some traffic. Let's say HTTP traffic, port number 80. So for that you created the rules that whatever the source destination you want to allow and port number 80, all you create the correct rules and allow. But still firewall is blocking the traffic. What is the reason? After creating your rules, still let's say traffic not able to pass. So what kind of other things you need to check?
If our physical layer connectivity is good, then there is only two issues are going on.
Like?
One is you didn't allow UDP port number 53 DNS
Okay.
on the firewall, which is causing IP address resolution. Then only HTTP traffic will go. Then second,
Let's say I'm accessing HTTP with IP. No doubt your point indirectly right. Okay. But that is what if you are accessing with the name. Then DNS comes in the picture. Okay. I'm not saying that name or number issue. I'm saying HTTP you allow, still HTTP traffic not able to pass.
Translation issue. No, sorry. Translate. Is there, did we allow that rule permit source IP, destination IP, all the correct permit or
rules for the traffic is correct. Okay. But traffic not able to travel, then what you need to understand? One point you are actually talking, but you stop. Translation possible that private IP and public IP. So you allow the HTTP traffic. But what? Your private network, other side don't know. So you require return routing, okay, or translation. Or second thing, what? Let's say you create the rules. Both are in same zone or different zone, whatever you create the rules. But let's say you don't have both are in the same routing table. Routing also you need to check.
Routing, okay.
Getting it?
Getting it, sir.
Yeah. So this kind of scenario question also will come in the interview. Okay. So far you are doing good. Okay. Technical things you have idea. Few technical point you just need to sharpen where you stuck.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And you need to focus more on the scenario based. Because if you are planning for network security job, then it will also ask you the scenario. Okay. Because normal definition nowadays, Google, ChatGPT, you can find and you can repeat.
Yes, sir.
You can remember. But when it comes into task, action, if you are not able to create the rules, if you are not able to understand the scenario, then you are not able to apply the rules.
Correct, sir.
Getting it?
Getting it, sir.
So scenario based thing try to do. In for that what? You can create a lab practice.
Sure, sir.
Okay. You can create a different topology and try to do traffic. Let's say if you don't know how to create or anything, you can ask your trainer.
Sure, sir.
Okay, they can give scenario based topology, everything like that you can do. And whatever other topic you are mixing, okay, that also we need to understand. Means wherever I told you that something missing, that point you need to do more learning, sharpen. Like one thing what you stuck in the speed, STP. I asked you what the speed is STP, but you were talking timer, right?
Yes, sir.
5 seconds and 6. That way it is faster, but it is not a speed. Okay, speed like if you idea then no common spanning tree have a 20 Gbps maximum supporting speed, while RSTP have 20 Tbps.
20 TPS. Okay.
Okay, so that kind of other thing, whatever I told you, that you need to sharpen your skill.
Sure, sir.
Okay, so far it is good. Okay, best of luck.
Thank you, sir.